Welcome to How I Became Your Mother. I'm Kalila Black, and this isn't just a podcast, it is my living manifestation journal. Here, I document my journey, past, present, and future, as I become the woman I've always dreamed of being your mother. I speak life into my future child as if they're already listening, and I share it out loud for anyone becoming right alongside me. Join me for a unique take in how I bring my life into fruition. Wow, happy new year. Today is February 18th, and I have not posted anything in 2026. January was a lot. So much has shifted, but I'm actually really happy to be back. I'm very happy to be back. Um, I moved your grandmother to a facility earlier at the end of last month, end of January, and I'm working on moving myself as well this month. So that was what the countdown has been. I've also been filming and creating more content. I've started a accountability group with friends. I'm also producing a show that I'm super excited about in October. It's just a lot of great stuff happening, as well as uncertainty and faith and trust and surrender. So that's what's going on with me. And I look forward to continuing this journey as we pick back up in 2026. Period. So, what's happening in my love life? Okay, so my love life is very, very vibrant. Um, I have suitors, I have people who are wanting to be taken seriously, and I am vetting. I'm vetting. I've been having a good time doing so, and I do think that your father is coming to get me this year. like I know it because I believe that I'm going to conceive you next year. Um that's how it's feeling. So I feel like he's coming to get me. Like I feel like it's giving, hey, that's how it's feeling. So yeah, let's just stay tuned. Let's stay tuned. I am wanting to talk about delusional optimism today. There was an article or a video from this man who I don't really know, but I like what he was saying, and he was being interviewed on a podcast. So he may be someone important in a way. And he was talking about how he lived his life as a delusional optimist. And I really, when I started thinking about and listening to what he was saying, I realized that that is the similar path that I've been on since 2014. Um, and I wanted to share it with you because I do think that I'm going to raise you with that overarching belief around delusional optimism. And so, let's document where it sits in my psyche right now. And the idea of delusional optimism is basically faith. It's believing in what you can't see, believing in sometimes the opposite of what you do see, um, expecting things that may not make sense. Um, and because it's optimism, for it's always in a more positive way than where you are currently. Like it's always looking upward. And I started my journey with delusional optimism in 2014 when I was introduced to the law of attraction on a cruise ship by a coworker of mine. And that was right when The Secret came out. And I watched the special. It was on Netflix, I think, for Malone. And I was really inspired by it because I that was kind of the first time that I had heard about the ability to control your reality based off of your thoughts. The way I was taught about my power or my agency over my life was kind of mild. It's like God kind of determines what you're doing. If you pray and if you follow these rules, then you will likely stay alive and then you'll go to heaven and then you'll have eternal life. Like that was the overarching. Um and the day to day, it was a very half faith. Like I was taught to pray over my food, to pray over travel, to pray over um home, to pray over, starting new things. So that pre-paving was definitely like having that faith, having that hope was there, but the direct connection of like, I'm going to do this, like thinking this thing, believing in it, operating like it is until it comes was not in my psyche. So then when I started learning about it and then I chose something very specific, I chose The Lion King as a means to attract. Like that was my big goal. And then I got it. That just continued my belief. And this was since 2014. And then it has evolved. After that, it evolved into um the idea of not just your thoughts creating your reality, but your emotions being the guiding light, your emotions being connected to your intuition, which shows you the path towards what you want. So, using your emotions, which, according to Esther Hicks, whom is an authority on the law of attraction, and who I find a lot of joy in listening to her content. She explains that it's an emotional guidance system. Like our beliefs and were our thoughts are typically habitual. Like they happen so fast. We have hundreds of thousands of thoughts a day. So it's really difficult to monitor your thoughts in a way to, like, if that's all that you're trying to focus on is your thoughts, it would be very, very difficult to manifest and to get the things that you want because your thoughts they happen too fast. So that's where your emotional guidance system comes in. Sometimes we think that emotions are kind of like fleeting, like they just happen, like, oh my God, I'm sad. Like, oh my God, I feel like this. Oh my God, I feel like that. But they actually are indicators of our patterns of thought around that time. So, like, when you're in a bad mood, you can likely track it to your thoughts. Maybe you thought about how broke you are or how you wish you would be doing something else, or you don't like your boss, or you don't like your, this person, or your feet hurt, or your da da da. Like whatever is the thing that is having um affecting your emotion is usually connected to thoughts that you've been thinking. So using delusional optimism to guide your life is kind of like reverse engineering it. Because if it's like this is how it works. Your thoughts create emotions, and those emotions uh determine what type of actions you take, and those actions determine what type of results you get. That's just kind of how it works. So reverse engineering that would be, if the emotions are going to determine what my reactions are, let me monitor my emotions and then craft emotions that are in alignment with the type of life that I want to live. Now, that sounds dumb easy. It sounds easy. It's like, okay, if I just can be more happy, then more good things will be or happen to me, and then everything will be good. The issue with this, with that laissez faire kind of approach to it, is that firstly, our society is not, our Western society is not really designed to support good feeling things. Secondly, the brain is used to the thoughts that you've already been thinking. So you may like intend, like, okay, today I'm going to feel good. But if you observe something on the news or a stupid comment or your idiot boss or something, it's just going to bring back those same other thoughts and those other feelings that spiral you back into feeling the way you didn't want to feel. So the actual way to start using your emotional guidance system is to learning how to raise the emotional scale, raise your placement. Because the other thing is, for the most part, like generally, like if you look at how you've been feeling, you can have a general idea. So if you could be like, okay, lately, how have I been feeling from a 1 to a 10? You may be like, probably a 7. Like my body's been feeling good. I've been having some communication issues at work, but my bills are paid. But and I've been having some romance, like a 7. Like I've been feeling okay. Like it's not great, but it's okay. You can kind of have the average of how you've been feeling, and then if you work on raising where you are emotionally every day, then that sharpens your emotional guidance system. And that's what meditating did for me. Meditating 20 minutes every single day, which in the way I meditate, because there's a million different ways to meditate, was through guided meditation. I used the app Insight Timer, and I would find a meditation every morning that allowed me to be still, that gave me what I felt like I needed. If it was like, yo, I want to feel more trusting today, I want to feel more hopeful, I want to feel more silly, playful, I want to feel more um creative, I want to feel more passionate. Like I would find that so that I can like quiet my brains. I don't just get up and start thinking about this, thinking about that, and I'm able to figure out where I am. Because the other thing is, sometimes we be thinking this is that we feel certain ways because we're so used to being in our heads that we're not actually clear about how we're feeling. And the way to get really, really crisp with this manifestation stuff and this using the law of attraction is to first have an efficient and operating barometer of your feelings. And a lot of the times we don't know how we're feeling because we don't honor our feelings. We don't think that they're as important as our actions or as our actions. And that is backwards. So that's what I wanted to talk about, the delusional optimism. And then after, while every morning, while I'm, quieting my mind, I'm getting clear around where I feel. Now I'm starting to intend to feel better. So I'm like, I'm looking for magic. My ancestors are all around me. I'm I'll keep running into favor. People want to do things for me. People want to support me. People like me. I make people feel good. Um I inspire people. These are the thoughts that I'm thinking every day, and little by little my self-confidence rises, my insides calm, and they quiet. So now during the day, I can sit with myself and ask a question and I know the answer. Like I said, okay, should I do this? Should I do that? And the way I figure it out is whichever decision makes me feel better, quote unquote, makes me feel closer to where I want to be on the emotional scale, that's a decision. No matter how uh much I said I was going to do it. Like, so for example, there's been a couple nights where I have planned to do some work, like some additional work. And I'm like, okay, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this. There's this deadline. You got to do this. And I sat with myself and I was like, you have options. Like you've been running, your eyes is ragged. You could grind and you could work, or you could go to sleep. Some nights going to sleep feels like relief. Like, yes, that feels better. Like I want a relief. Some nights going to sleep feels like defeat, and actually pushing through feels like triumph. So I'm like, oh no, no, no. Like I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna push through. It's not one answer. It's knowing which way to go that's going to make me feel better, because the better I feel, the closer I get to, well, first of all, the better I feel, the better I am, because we do everything because we want to feel good. Every single thing. Every single thing is because you want to feel better. Whether you get more money, it's because you want to feel better. You want to feel, more stable. Whether you get more healthy, it's because you want to feel better. Whether you get aesthetically pleasing, it's because you want to feel better about looking better. Like it's all about feeling better. So that's firstly. Secondly, it's about the things that come up as a result of feeling better. So I have way too many examples of delusional optimism in my life. Um, but I will start with becoming a very prominent and actually historical member of the Lion King musical, the most successful musical in the world. And also, uh, knowing that I was going to have VIP Renaissance tickets, traveling all around the world. And the way that these things happen is this belief. Like I remember specifically this one time where, and this was in 28, no, this was, yeah, 2017. Yeah, because 2018 I did another one. This was in 2017. And I was like, this was when I was on Backstage, Actors Access, and other platforms for my career. And I was like, I want to go somewhere and do somebody's little Christmas show. Let me go sing and do somebody's little Christmas show. That's what I said when I signed on. I went and I signed on, and I just started looking at, applications and applying, and then I booked it immediately. Like it was an immediate booking, because I like, in my mind it wasn't like, oh, let me go try to find a job, like let me go try, it was just like, let me, like, I knew that I was gonna get a show. Like I was delusional about that. I didn't consider not. And that's happened in my career a lot. Like when I booked a cruise ship gig, I was so upset that the Lion King didn't choose me as the Nala the first time. And I was hurt because I just knew that that was how I wanted the dream to go, and it didn't happen. And so I was like, I got to leave New York. I got to get out of here. And you know what? And at that time, I had some resistance around cruises in the way that I never auditioned for them, because I was just like, I want to be on Broadway. I don't want to be in a cruise. Like, I don't want to be in a cruise. But then after the Lion King dubbed me, I was like, you know what? I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go travel. I'm gonna go get on a cruise. I'm gonna just go have fun on a cruise. I put together the most janky, like in hindsight. When I was in real life, I felt very happy. Like I felt like it was all I had. It was all I had, because it was last minute. Like if I would have thought about it more thoroughly, I probably would have booked space to film and record and audition and then send it out. But what I did was I snatched um content from stuff that I'd done in Hong Kong, Singapore, and um Greensboro, and I was like, this is my voice, this is my dance, like, and I'm available. And I I got 3 offers within a week. And it's like the delusional piece is the see like in those moments, I didn't have a job. I had an audition for a cruise ship in Dumlong. Like my resume wasn't stacked. Like nobody knew me. I didn't know the casting like this. So I didn't even have an agent. I didn't even have an agent. When I booked the Lion King, I didn't even have an agent. I was just pressed and delusional. Like, yeah, I'm about to get on one of these stages. Like, I could do it. Like, it's lit. Delusional optimism around travel. Like, I have been to over yeah, I've been to almost 40 countries and I can count on like I've only probably had maybe mm, eh, 3 and that's a lot. If I'm talking about if like 3 occasions in my life where I felt like in danger. And the danger still didn't even feel like it was something beyond my control. It just felt like, oh, I'm gonna have a little scuffle tonight. Like I'm gonna have a little and that delusional optimism around traveling, around living abroad, around operating abroad. Like I have a covering over me. I have a delusional optimism around my ancestors that walk with me, guide me, cover me, clear me, and it goes and it shows up. OD. OD. Um, I've had that happen on trips, like where just going with the flow and you end up in VIP on a yacht with a celebrity and you're like, wow, okay, this is cause I knew I belonged here and I said I wanted a pop at night, but I didn't know it was gonna end up like this. Like let's get lit. Like the thing about this is that delusional optimism was not always a comfort zone of mine because first of all, I'm a double earth sign. Okay. I'm a Capricorn stellium and I got a lot of earth like placements. I'm a very steady, stable, sometimes rigid movement. And I like to and I really originally used to be pressed about living in reality and about logic and about things making sense and about this equaling that. And delusional optimism directly contradicts logic and reality. So I find myself having to separate from the myself from the things that will root me back down reality, at least until I can get to a certain level, a certain emotional level and a certain life level. That's why I don't listen to the news. That's why I'm really, really, or watch the news. I'm very, very, very specific about who I follow, what I interact with on social media. I don't even really watch television like that because I want to monitor what's going on in my brain and in my desires until I can get my foothold. And you sometimes won't be able to you won't be able to change or affect your feelings if we're consistently looking at and reacting to what's going on in the world. So I think the biggest difference that I'm rewriting is that truth and like reality is finite. Another thing about delusional optimism is realizing that even though a circumstance or a situation has occurred, it doesn't have to mean what you're used to it meaning. I used to have very, very strong, high standards as to what feels good enough for me. And I realized that you can find value in so many situations, even if it didn't go the way that you want to. So being committed to seeing the optimism in the circumstance in the future as well as in the present and in the past is really beneficial because it changes reality. The other piece about it is noticing that everybody's reality is different. That's how you have multiple children living in the same house, twins living in the same house, experiencing two different sides because we have individual realities. Um So, what I'm wanting to move forward and remember is that for me, it's more important for me to feel good. It's more important for me to align with what I want in the future than it is for me to uh witness what I'm happening and what's happening in reality. There's enough people that's witnessing. We got enough historians. That's not my gig. That's not my bag. I'm a creator. I'm here to add to society, to shift it and to add to the present. So my biggest hope for you is to realize that the power really comes from within and that this is all a perception. This is all a reality through a lens. So we want to make sure that your lens is clean, that your lens is conducive for what you want to occur and not what you don't want to occur. And so now we're going to move on to our soul question, which is our 26 questions to fall in love that we've been answering. We are almost finished with the 26, excuse me. We're at 24. And the question is, how do I feel about my relationship with my mother? Wow, my relationship with my mother, I feel very that is such a nuanced question, especially because this is how I became your mother, right? Of course, this is how we're going to start the year off. I feel like my mother has facilitated so much in my life. I was able to use her genes, to use her vessel to come through. I was also able to use her knowledge and her support to excel. I was also a victim of very, very poor choices of hers consistently. Um, I I feel as if my mother and I have been connected in other lives. I believe that we were likely cousins or sisters or just peers because I feel my heart feels very connected to her. And I think that that's why it's been very easy to forgive her for things because I feel like I know her heart, regardless of what actions I can feel her heart. And I've always been able to feel her heart. So I feel like our relationship is divine. There have definitely been uh valleys and horrible and times where we hadn't spoken and horrible things. But where we are now, the closeness, the compassion, the commitment, the the support, I feel very proud of our relationship. If you don't remember one thing from this episode, I want you to remember that the way you view life will determine the way you experience life. It's not the way life is, it's the way you view it. It's not the reality, it's the perception. It's not the results, it's the intention. Okay. Your intention on how you want to convene with the results. Thank you for listening. I'm just happy to be back on a platform, happy to be back. And I look forward to hitting y'all and seeing you next week. Please leave me a review, a comment, anything, share, all of that. That was today's love offering. Whether you're here now or listening from the future, I'm so thankful you spent time with me. Again, I'm Kalila Black, and this is how I became your mother. Until next time, remember everything is working for your highest good. If this episode stirs something in you, send it to someone you love or leave me a review so this magic can find more hearts like yours. Talk later. Bye.